Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Welcome to CAD Lab 2. In this video, we are going to discuss some of the more options that you will find in the edit menu shell. So let us begin. So if you look into the edit menu, the whole feature was covered in the previous video. Today we are going to discuss a little bit about the shell command. Shell, as the name implies, it is nothing. It will simply make a solid object as a hollow object and will remove one of the face, and that face will depend on our selection. Whichever face you select, that will be simply removed from the solid object, and rest of the region will be hollowed, and it will give certain thickness to the other walls. Those thicknesses will also be defined by the user. So let us begin with the shell command. So here you can find the shell command. You can also use the insert menu. Menu you will find all of those part commands, extrusion commands or protrusion commands, and editing commands that you want to use. So you can pick any command from the tab as well by using the insert menu. So shell is there. So I will click on the shell command, and through the dashboard area you will get the message. So it is asking about selection of the surfaces. So here you will select, and this is the reference for that surface. So removed surface tabs. So here whatever surface you select, that will be simply removed, and this yellow line basically represent the sketch, and the blue line represent the region that will be added to that particular boundary, and inside region will be removed, so it will be shelled off, and that thickness can be given through this text box in the dashboard area. So if I let us say give 5 unit thickness, so the wall thickness of the shelled object will be 5 units, and here I can select any surface. Like for example, if I pick this one, then if you want to view that, so it will simply make that solid object as a hollow object, and the wall thicknesses of the remaining surfaces will be, or sides you can say, will be 5 units. So you can pick any surface when you are in the remove surface tab. So if I click on this surface, so this will be removed, and thickness will be given to the other part. So you can pick any of that surface. In addition to that, you can also select multiple surfaces for removal. So if I suppose click on this top face, and for multiple selection, you all know that normally we use the control key on the keyboard. So if I hold the control key on the keyboard and then want to add some more surfaces in that listing, so I can do that. So now I have selected 2 surfaces, the top face and the front face. And if you click on that, these 2 faces will be removed. Similarly, if you go back, so I am still in the remove surface tab. So if I hold again the control key and pick this surface, so it is a simple command in which you will simply select any surface or surfaces, and then you can give the wall thickness to the remaining walls. So you can deselect the surfaces by simply click on any of the surface and then right click, and you can use the remove option, or you can simply right click in that tab area, and if you select remove all, so all of the surfaces that you have selected will be simply removed, and then you can go for a new surface. So let me select this top surface once again. This will be the result, and the thickness of all the walls will uniform, that is 5 unit thickness. So let me change the view to the top view. So this yellow line basically represent the sketch that we had created. And you can then have two options, like for example, if I switch it to the direction of that wall thickness, so we can have two options, like the wall thickness can be added towards the inside region or outside of the sketch. So you can use that flipper to go for that particular option. So now it will be created inside the region. And if I click that, so it will be added towards the outside of the region. So this is that flip option that you can use. And in the references, we do have one other tab for non-default thicknesses. So by default, when you select a surface, like I have selected the top surface, and the wall thickness that I have given is 5 units, so it has added 5 unit thickness to all the sides. You can change those default thicknesses to any other thickness. So for that we will use the second tab listing. So here you can select those walls or those surfaces which you want to change. So for example, if I want to change this side face, this one, then I can change this particular thickness. Like for example, if I so rest of the walls will have 5 unit thickness, and this particular wall has 10 units thickness. And again, using the control key on the keyboard, you can go for multiple selection of the surfaces. So for example, if I hold the control key and pick this surface as well as this other surface, so 3 surfaces you have now in that particular listing, and then you can go to each individual surface. Like for example, if you want to change the thickness of this one, so simply click on that text tab, and then you can use any of that figures, and those are those values which you already have used. For example, so I have used 10 units thickness, 7 units, and 5 units. So they will present in that particular listing. Otherwise, you can type in any value, like for example, if I give it 15 units thickness, so this wall will have a wall thickness of 15 units. Similarly, अगर ये surface मैं select करना चाहूँ ये side, and suppose I give it the value of 20 units. So now you can see that you have a shelled object in which the default thickness by 5 was 5 units, and it will be assigned to this particular face, this one, and the bottom face, the bottom surface. Other thicknesses that I have changed are there. So इसका जो है वो 10 units है, it has 15 units thickness, and this wall has 20 units thickness. So let me remove all the surfaces, and in the remove surface tab I will simply click on the top face. So this is what you will get at the end. And you can always go back to the edit definitions. So from the model tree, if you pick the shell command, and then you want to change the definitions, you can go back to the definition, and there you can again go for multiple selection of the surfaces. So it is always very easy to do changes to an existing feature or a sketch. For example, if you want to change the sketch for that extruded particle, which was in the beginning a rectangle, so if I click on that sketch one, right click, edit definition, and instead of the rectangle, if I delete those segments and simply convert that sketch to some other shape. So you will get that, because the base for that extruded object and then the shell command was that sketch number one. So you can always go back to that particular sketch, and if you want to change that sketch, so the result will also change, because that particular sketch is associated to the rest of the two options that we have used. So if I undo that, I can go back to that. So that's it.